one of the candidates who's running for Scott Brown's seat, says he supports medicinal marijuana, but he's really leery about decrim, and he's leery about legalizing, regulating, and taxing it because he wants to know if there's a test that can be administered like a breathalyzer out in the field where police can check whether the person's under the influence of marijuana. And I'd like to let him know that we do have a test, and the police do use it. It's called a field sobriety test, and it's used for every drug. It's used for NyQuil, it's used for over-the-counter drugs, it's used for prescription drugs, it's used for alcohol, and it's used for when the officers think somebody's under the influence of marijuana. And if you can pass a field sobriety test, then it means you're not impaired. And so if marijuana doesn't prevent you from passing a field sobriety test, then we have to entertain the thought that maybe it doesn't impair you. Maybe you can drive while under the influence of marijuana just as safely as when you're under the influence or not under the influence of any substance. And in Massachusetts, we know more than 12% of us smoke marijuana in any given year, and close to 15% of us in any given year. And I guarantee you, every single day in Massachusetts, there are tens of thousands of people driving while they are either smoking or have just smoked marijuana. And what I want to know is, where's the carnage? We see people wreck their cars, we see people run over people, we see all sorts of destruction, and there's booze in the car, booze in the car, booze in the car. How often do they find weed as the only substance? How often do they find that the driver has done nothing but smoke marijuana? Virtually never. Virtually never. There is no practical, on the face of it, hands-on evidence that says marijuana users get into accidents more often than non-marijuana users. It's just not there.
That's actually right. And if that was the case, they would publicize it.
The only
publicizing they do is like exactly what Doug said. It's like all those things that you see late at night. It's like, who gets in that car and it's like, oh, I forgot to pick my grandma up. Oh, I blew my head off with a gun. Or I like, there was like a test. I remember
my dog's making signs and talking to me. Oh, wow, you can make signs.